then play for maybe a knight f6. Um, you know, White will play for c4 and rook c1 and develop his pieces, and he'll be better. But Black's not losing. But Black decides to play instead this, and this should have red flags for all of you. When you see this move, you should immediately notice that these light squares, have become incredibly weak. Besides the move, which is obvious, just develop your piece and put pressure. In terms of planning, you should notice that if at any point White can trade this minor piece for this minor piece, the knight for the bishop, this position is completely dominating. The light squares will be Black's downfall. So just keep that in mind. It doesn't happen in the game, but you should think that way when you're playing the London, or any chess. Right, this is correct. You can't play queen d7 instead, right? Because even though he defends, this is very risky. Now he's forced to play f6, and this is not good. Not good. This causes more weaknesses. Sorry, not g7, but the white squares. Okay, so he plays this move. I just develop, threatening this, and now Black's best move, in my opinion, is to castle. Just castling. Probably I'll castle back and develop a rook and play c4, something like that, and I'll be better, but it's much better than what he played. He played a very passive move. This is not worth it. I mean, he stops this, but again, look at this. Not only that, when he decides to castle, this is going to be very awkward. So I castle, no hurry. Notice that I've been playing very simple moves, and albeit Black is playing very poorly, but I'm putting pressure on him pretty consistently, just because of his move bishop f5. He's had some problems, and when you put your opponent to the test like this, it causes problems. And people aren't books, right? They are machines. They make mistakes. So if you can put pressure on them early on in unfamiliar territory, you'll get very nice positions. Right. So a6. Of course, I'm not going to take. This is wrong for two reasons. One, trading pieces when you're in a better position and have more space, which I do, because we notice his pieces are a little cramped, is better for the side with less space. That's a rule of Capablanca. Secondly, I have a bishop pair, and I should keep it. I'm not going to get rid of my bishop pair. He castles. All right, so of course my plan is to bring a rook to this square, right? But if I do it, it doesn't matter which rook. If I bring a rook here, Black has this kind of move. Then maybe knight a5, and he kind of prevents me from playing c4, which is kind of annoying. So I can't really play rook c1 yet. I have to be quicker. I have to play c4 while I still can. So I play it, and see, now he's got to waste a tempo to get off this diagonal. Doesn't have to, but he decides to. And now I have a choice. I'm going to play rook c1, but which rook? All right, normally, the logic normally would be, well, I'm going to be doing queenside operations, so I should probably have both rooks on the queen side, so I should bring the rook that's not on the queen side to the queen side, right? The only problem with this is that the natural place for the second rook is undoubtedly b1, I think. And there is no way I'm ever going to play rook b1 unless I decide for some reason to trade the white bishop, which I don't want to do. I could have played rook a2, rook b2, but that's very awkward. So, and truthfully, I don't know. I could do it the opposite way. So I think what I chose is better since for that reason. So I decided to play this rook here, and this other rook can go either to e1 or d1 in the future. Play in the center. Alright, so now I'm threatening, of course, to take. And this wins a pawn, of course. If he takes with the queen, if he takes back with queen, I take, he takes, and he loses the c6 knight. If he takes with the knight, I immediately take and win the knight. So he's gotta play. He plays, I think, the best move. I think it's a good move. He's basically gonna force me to lose the bishop pair by playing this move. Notice though that even though I lose the bishop pair, I do have a very good position. I get the c file open, and it's very hard for black to play this position. He decides that he's not going to take. If he had taken, I would have taken. Take, and now this is incredibly hard to defend, especially in lieu of the fact that this pawn is also weak. So if he defends with the rook, this pawn will fall. Even he can play rook a8 now, alright? But, just this. This pawn is again under attack, and if he takes, and now I've got the following threats. I have this pawn's under attack, and I have bishop here. These two pieces are under attack. This is just bad. He decides not to play this, though, and instead he plays this. And so, I have a lot of targets, right? I don't have to go for c7. Remember, I have the white light squares also, so I'm just going to shift focus. The rule of two weaknesses. The side with the most space has more maneuverability, and thus should attack on multiple squares, and usually in multiple wings, not in this case though. So I play c5, and now I'm attacking this. I'm alternating my attacks. And so I think this is probably just winning now. I think this is probably forced. And I haven't really calculated this far. I didn't really calculate it in the game. I just figured that I would probably have something. Now, looking at it now, I'd probably say that this is probably just winning. But sometimes you don't need to calculate in games. You just this is very obvious. But he just makes a final mistake, and after bishop takes, he resigns. Notice that I didn't really do anything special. My play wasn't amazing. I just played natural moves. I knew the plans against bishop f5, and just knowing conceptual ideas helped me. So this is probably the last time we'll look at a game. This is kind of simple and not really theoretical, and black didn't play well. In the future, when we do go over London games, I'm gonna show you black's various options for playing correctly, or at least good moves, and I will show you white's recourses. And white can get a good position in every line, and in a lot of lines he gets very good positions, especially against a black who doesn't know what he's doing, which is most people, since they don't encounter the London very often. And I will tell you that even though the London is obviously not up to par at Grandmaster level for consistent play, I have a friend who is a 2400 player who plays London every single game, and he's been playing it every single game for white for the last 10 years. And people prepare for him all the time, and he is still 2400, so this is quite playable.